All right. Hey, and good evening, and welcome to The Truth Behind the Truth.
Yes.
Man, we got some truth behind the truth we're going to be getting into today.
Yes.
Okay. You can call us what am I called? The religion. No, I won't say that. The ship that's moving through every territory on the planet that we can get in within an hour tonight. Okay. Because we got some stuff to talk about. Man, I don't know what's going on with humanity. I mean, it's just like people is like all over the place. When I'm saying all over, you got the weather all over the place, and you got humanity all over the place. So it's just what was that song that was it the Temptation? Ball of Confusion?
Yes, it's a ball of confusion.
A ball of confusion. You know that's
Wherefore the world is today.
Hey,
hey.
Totally a ball of
Yes,
confusion.
a ball
Totally
of
ball of
confusion.
confusion.
Yes.
But we want to welcome our guests tonight. Hey, everybody. Thank you for taking the time out to tune into this wonderful broadcast that we bring to you every Saturday evening at this particular time. Wherever you're tuning in, hey, tell a friend, share, like, whatever. Go to all of our pages. We got some good coming up too. Also, guys, our new website is going to be released soon. Man, you'll be able to, direct anybody to us and how to get there and be able to go in and see the show right from the website. So we're really excited about it. We're going to have product available for you from our nutritional in-house profession. You know, you'll be able to connect with him, get more vitamins. Right. You'll be able to get some of our mugs, that's going to be coming out. So we got a lot of great things happening with the Truth Behind the Truth. Yes. And then tonight, boy, I'm telling you, we're going to come for some both night. But anyway, before we get into that, Harold, how you doing, baby?
I'm good. You see, I'm dressed in my African garb. I spoke earlier at this event, the Black Business Honors Lunch and Learn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I had to represent Africa. And
okay.
So I was talking about how to use social media to grow your business. So that's what I was talking about today.
Wonderful. Hey, good evening, Joanna. Really? What can you share about that just a little bit? I mean, that's just I love. You know what? That's what I love about you so much, brother. Because you have such a great spirit, and I'm just gonna because we're gonna talk about spiritual stuff tonight anyway. But you have a great spiritual anointing around you, and I'm not saying that from a old church perspective, and that's good. You have such a warm spirit, and I think that's where all of this great opportunity is coming from. And I'm blessed to know that you're my buddy. Well, go ahead and say a little bit.
I was just sharing with them, like over the past 12 months, my social media has just kind of taken off. And I went from last year, I had about 3,000 Instagram followers to about 230,000. And so I was sharing with them some of the things that I did that I think helped to grow it. Right. And part of what I think that helped to grow it was being authentic, sharing stuff that, if my mom was alive, she'd be telling me, boy, don't be talking about you had erectile dysfunction or incontinence.
Right.
I think when you're authentic and you're open, people relate to that. And I always say that people do business with folks they know, like, and trust. And how are people even know, like, or trust you if you don't share anything about yourself? If you try to act like you got it all together and you ain't never went through anything. So I think that's really important. If you're trying to grow your social media base, is to be authentic. And that's what we talk about on the show all the time.
Absolutely. Wow. That is, thank you. See, that's why I just said what I said a minute ago, because he's been doing the same thing with me. I mean, realistically, this is my platform. However, I realize that there's a further beyond this platform that I have, in really speaking the destiny into people's lives, and I think from time to time, because he's been pushing it, Charles, I know you have, you need to get out there and say more, okay? Because I have a lot to say, but I've been through a lot in order to do that. It may come across strong, but I think that anytime you're in a position of, this is not, the word evangelize or evangelism, you always come very strong with a message. That doesn't mean you have to be coming from Bible and all that type of, because you're an evangelist, because you are declaring something great to help people's lives, So I have to accept that spirit of that evangelism, because it does ride on me at times, and I'm like, oh my God, do I have to say all this,
Right.
And what's so fun, and I'm so sorry for cutting into what you were saying, but I have to say this, Harold. I have been on my Twitter feed, and your Doritos and Hot Pockets, don't eat this, don't eat that video have been shared so many times.
On Twitter?
Yeah, on Twitter.
Oh, really? I'm not even on Twitter.
I thought I was on Instagram. I'm like, wait a minute, is this Twitter or Instagram? Because why the hell I'm seeing Harold? But then I realized there was another woman to the side that was like, you know, these reactions.
Oh, yeah.
I said, look at Harold. They're sharing his videos.
That's
my
beautiful.
friend.
That's awesome. I mean, that really is, you know. And not to take it, I'm going to get back to my point.
Go ahead. No,
and not to take away from that, but just like even your own platform, you know, on the reaction side, because, you know, he is bringing light to people that have no idea what the history of happens to the, you know, the music industry, the history about these artists that people follow, and it's very powerful, you know. And to get comments to have, you know, thousands of viewers, you know, on Karen. Excuse me, I apologize. I got something out of my mouth, guys. Excuse me. I apologize. Something keeps running different. Anyway, like the Karen Carpenter one. I mean, like 2,000 views about Karen Carpenter.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You know, just people viewing it, and then the comments that come in. So, you know, when you have a voice for humanity, you know what I'm saying, and a love for humanity, and one of the things that is so successful about The Truth Behind the Truth is that everybody that's a part of this team has the heart for humanity. You know, we started out this I won't say this journey, but I can say a journey. Yes, I'll say it that way. To propel this show to a network position. We're working on it every day. It's a part of our psyche. We put it in the universe because there's nothing like the four gentlemen that's a part of this show. Because we realize who we are. We have come to a place where who we are, and we're identifying it, and we want to share that for the world. You know, the one thing, the model that we never get away from is love our creator, love ourselves, and love humanity. That will always be the message with the, you know, behind the truth, behind the truth. But back to me real quick, then we're going to move on. So just, you know, I am working on that, you know, guys. So those that follow the show, y'all be seeing me pop up eventually. Okay. You know, and really kind of bringing some messages. I really, really felt like it this week, which we will talk about at the next segment, that Donald Trump. Yep. You know, Lord. You know, we're gonna get into that next segment. We're gonna dig into that ship. You know, you know what we do. You know, but anyway, so but yeah, so it is. And guys, if you have that type of feeling or presence with people, pursue that. You know what I'm saying? Pursue that, because we all have a message for humanity. You know what I'm saying? We all do. You know, there are ears that are itching to hear what you got to say. You know, so don't open up your damn mouth and start talking. Okay?
All right. Please talk and get involved.
You know,
seriously.
But go ahead. I mean, interrupt you on your point.
Oh, no. It was just that point of seeing Harold on Twitter, and you know, you seeing the impact. That's what I want to say. The impact is so on your end is so strong. And I was just thinking, God, Lee, it's so much, you know, people. You know what, I want to say this though, you know, there's so much going on right now in society, you know, it's affecting the world as well as, you know, with the weather.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, have y'all noticed, and this is just me, there's been so many tornadoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is crazy. The truth behind it, it's so many tornadoes. One hit here in LA not too long ago. Right. And that cloud went to Jackson, Mississippi. It hit and hit Jackson, Mississippi, and some parts of Alabama. And then there was another one that hit somewhere else too.
Well, it hit in Georgia too, and South Georgia too.
There's something to be said about this. Now, we've been getting a lot of rain out here as well, but something is going on within humanity that is causing the weather, not only our health, but it's causing the weather to be to react. I don't think the weather is unhealthy. I think we need the rain out here in LA because I'm getting tired of these droughts. But the fact is it's reacting. The world is reacting to what humanity is doing. And it's so you have to sit back and think about this stuff when you're hearing the news, hearing how people are talking, hearing the art that we're listening to that seems to be a little negative sometimes. But then, you know, you're seeing how the world is the atmosphere, the weather is reacting, and you have to. That's something to think about. Those who are watching,
and I know you got a point here. Here's the thing, you know, and one of the things that we have to begin to understand, if you don't understand, everything, and you've heard me say this before, everything is spiritual.
It is.
Everything is spiritual, and it takes on a spiritual light. This planet is spiritual. Okay, it aligns with the spiritual movement of this great universe that our Creator has made.
Mhm.
So we've got to realize is that if the spiritual part is not in alignment, things react.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so and then rather than what we've been put on this planet to be in harmony with the planet.
Mhm.
Okay, so the greatest part that is supposed to be on this planet should be aligning itself, and
Mhm.
aligning itself, number one, by treating each other correctly. Okay,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, loving each other.
Mhm.
Okay, not being a complete narcissist ass, which we will get into in a few minutes. Okay, and deceiving everyone. But here's the thing: because of the negative energy that humanity has flowing through it. Okay, the planet is saying, look, okay, you know what, y'all gonna be negative. I'm gonna show you what negativeness will do. And here you have earthquakes in places that you would never expect it to be. You have tornadoes showing up. We certainly didn't expect a tornado out here in LA because LA supposedly never gets any tornadoes. It's just not on the weather pattern, So, but what we have got to do as humanity, we got to refocus people. You know what I'm saying? We got to refocus, but we have to start refocusing from within.
The man in the mirror.
The man in the mirror. We got to start refocusing within and stop being so selfish and self-centered and walking over people and ignoring the needs of your fellow man. That's got to stop. You know what I'm saying? We've got to start embracing each other. I mean, I don't know if I got time before going to break and tell you about this story, but I met a great couple today, at the other job that pays for Truth Count Truth, and not knowing how the engagement of this wonderful, they were a Latino couple that came in and they just had this light about them. And they were a young couple, and I said, "You guys look so good." And started with me saying, "You guys look so good together." And they said, "Thank you." So I'm trying to get it done in 1 minute, okay? But anyway, so we had made this wonderful exchange, and they started telling me about their story and then their connections, and whatever the case may be. So as divine time would have it, all those things that came out of my mouth, okay, were so in alignment as to what they have had previous conversation that day. So they said, "Oh my God, we came to you and we're having this and we're talking about this. This is so much of alignment. It's so much of alignment." But anyway, we're going to get into that in a minute. I know I keep going. All right. We will be right back after this break. Okay. We're going to dig into that arraignment.
All right.
All right. And Nashville and Anthony Hamilton and Kim Burrell. And hopefully we'll get to Black Lives Matter at the end. All right. We'll see you guys in a minute.
Call 844-55-STARZ. It's Junk Stars, baby.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
call Junk Stars.
You need dumpster rentals,
call Junk Stars.
Give me
All right, and we are back, guys. Man, whew. You know, it is here. It is upon us. First of all, before I dig in, thank you guys for tuning into the Truth Behind the Truth tonight. As we dig in and talk about the Trump ship.
But before we do that, I have a question.
Yes.
Where the hell is Parnell?
Yeah,
Exactly. Where the hell is Parnell tonight? He has had an engagement tonight, so he said that he would be popping in at some point in the audience. So, you know, he's the other actor of our acting crew that is actively acting. Okay, so you know, so time to time he will be in and out, on the show, but hopefully he'll be back. I think consistently after this.
Yeah,
you know.
But congrats for the award that he got. I forgot the name of the award, but it was an award that I believe for theater. I think it was
as well.
Yeah,
yes.
but congrats, Parnell, on
Absolutely.
that thing. Oh, wow.
And speaking of, I know we're supposed to be talking about that, but did y'all see his Instagram? Okay, I'm gonna spank his butt.
Oh, stop.
Oh, I didn't see. What did he do?
Instagram?
No,
okay. I'm gonna have to spank his butt. He thought
that's the proved Gemini spirit. That is. I follow it. It was okay. I've seen far worse, but don't even worry about that, Parnell. You good?
I'm teasing him about it.
I know you good.
He was Wonder Man. Okay,
Wonder Man.
He was Wonder Man. I said, okay, spinning and.
I was a little worried myself at one point.
Let me take a little peek.
I was like, okay, Parnell, make sure that camera's stable. Because we had to start a new series. When we talk about where in the hell's Parnell, we've been only Parnell. Okay.
Oh, I see it. Oh, yes.
So
it was fun.
It was
very
fun.
I
was going to tease him about it. I thought he was going to be here tonight. I was going to mess with him about it. But anyway, let's go and dig in. Let's talk about where the hell's Parnell. Okay, whatever he did on Instagram, y'all go check it out for yourself. Okay. So, but anyway, but back to the series of events that has surrounded the very first time the three, like Sonny Hawson said, twice impeached narcissistic former president that we had here, and I'm like Whoopi. I never did call him that word, because I felt like he never deserved that word. I don't think that a man of his caliber, outside of being at a time being a shrewd businessman, should be deserved that. Now, I just don't, And I mean, I remember we sat there, during that election night when Hillary should have won. Okay, we all know that, but for whatever reason that this narcissist got in, and honestly, I think it unleashed a whole nother level of terrorism in the United States. Because when you talk about white supremacy, that's a number of homegrown terrorists. We ain't got to worry about what's going on in Iran and everywhere else. Those are terrorists.
Did you say a shrewd businessman?
Yeah, well, he was a shrewd businessman at one time. Okay. At one time.
I don't know if he was shrewd. I think he was a conniving, manipulative, and dishonest businessman.
Okay. Well,
somebody who didn't pay their vendors either.
Right.
I mean, he
True. I'm sorry.
And I feel bamboozled. I remember when I was starting my first business over 20 years ago, he wrote a book about business. I remember buying it and reading it and just like thinking this was the gospel.
Right. Well, I guess the term shrewd can be carried in several ways, because you can be shrewd in many ways. It's just that your active pursuits, and we at that time, like you said, when you're, especially the book that he put out, we at that time we were bamboozled, honestly.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And then later on, we found that everything in the book was a lie.
Right.
Which has been his sole pattern for his entire life, from what we're finding out right now. That could have been a chronic liar, not just a liar, but a chronic liar. So if you want to say, as they used to say in the old church, that all liars will have their place in the lake, their life in the lake, whatever the lake of fire is where liars are supposed to be. Okay, so hey, burn. Okay, if that's the case, because there ain't gonna be no water there with all these lies. Especially when you're in office, you lied over. Not even over 24,000 lies in 4 years. And then the idiots, now I'm calling y'all idiots, you don't like it, write me, okay, that you decide to follow behind somebody that is on their way to jail and want to stand up for this. No. Where do you do it? Where do you come up with this gumption? You know, to align
It's the
yourself with
American way, I think.
America.
It's the American way.
And this is the thing that gets me. Trump campaign raises $4 million in the first 24 hours
Yes, he
after
did.
Right.
indictment.
What?
Crazy.
See, I mean, you know,
Wait a minute. Why? And we're shocked by this. Why not?
okay.
Why not that he did not raise money for this? Because it goes with the narrative that what he's been campaigning. There is people out there against him and against America.
Uh-huh.
So the fact that he is going to jail is all in his followers' minds is really going with the narrative that there are people against this president, against this man, because he's on a path to restore America. Now, you know what? And it's so sad that you have people who cannot see the forest for the trees.
Right.
But there are people who are blindly led because they don't have the critical thinking skills to say, why is he going to jail? What do I know about this man's history that makes him credible? Now, he was president for the past 4 years.
Uh-huh.
He did what he was supposed to have done for his base, not for the United States, for his base, which is, I have to say this too, and I give him credit for doing that. Because all of this, you know, I love Biden. I do. I respect Biden. I think Biden is a diplomat. He is what you call the ideal diplomat. But there's a time that you need to stand up and fight for what you were put in there for, and who voted for you.
Right.
But wait a minute. Speaking of Biden, did you guys see that interview that Michelle Obama did with Robert Roberts? That was the funniest thing ever. So Robin asks former First Lady Michelle Obama, did she support or endorse Biden for the next president election? And I had never seen Michelle Obama stammer and stutter so much. She didn't want to just, you know, it was so funny. And she answered it very diplomatically, but I mean, come on. I mean, this is all we got. Basically,
I know, right?
So my thing, I had this discussion with somebody the other day, you know, and I kind of broke it down to her so she could get a little bit better because she's not the biggest political fan, you know, at the end of the day. But one of the things I tell people, you need to be politically concerned.
Yes, you do.
You know, and it's not a thing where you should just turn it off because you need to know what's going on.
That's
okay, because at the end of the day, if you don't know, somebody could be knocking at your door ready to arrest you. Okay, you know, and you didn't know about it because you weren't politically astute. But there's a prime example of it. So, but I explained to her. I said, you know, the thing with President Biden. Okay, as you stated earlier,
he's old. That's it. I mean, it's just that he's old. It's
true, but here's the major point. He is diplomatic. You have to understand that this man has been in Washington a long time.
Yes, he has.
Okay, a long time. Okay, so he has built relationships on both sides of the aisle. So there's just so far that he is going to push somebody that he considers a friend, Mitch McConnell, okay, you know, to be able to do something different than what the status of the norm is. And they probably have had lunch in wine sessions and cigar smoke sessions and everything else and say, hey, look, we're gonna be right here with you, you know, and as long as you don't go too far to the right to the left, we're gonna keep it this way. And he cannot afford, you know, in his position to push the envelope off the table. You know, we're saying he should and he needs to, but he can't afford to. You know, so hey, if he's gonna be all we got, President Obama, come on back and run again.
You save your sanity, Obama. You have done your job for wellness. But going back to him going to jail on Tuesday.
Yes.
Now I want to see handcuffs. I want to see burly police. I want to see mugshots. I want to see cameras all over the place because let me tell you something. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. When they put Michael Jackson in jail, we saw every damn thing.
Yes, we did.
We want to see the whole shebang. I want to see every damn thing because I'm the doubting Thomas. I want to see what I want to see as an American. I want to see where my tax dollars are going because this is what is needed to show people. This is what happens when you do wrong. And he should have been in jail since 1980. No. But I'm just
Okay.
saying, he just this man has been crooked. He didn't have to be president to know how crooked this man
Right,
was.
he's been crooked
This
all
man
along.
grew up in crookedness.
Right.
Right.
That's all he ever knew was crooked. We talked about generational wealth in the
Right.
last show, Truth Behind the Truth.
Right.
This man was surrounded by generational wealth by
Right.
his father,
Right.
owning a business that built lofts
Uh-huh.
and also public housing too as well.
Uh-huh.
And there was this narrative that no black person in what were ever going to live in any Trump place.
Right.
And that narrative was over them since the 70s and 60s.
Uh-huh.
Now, bypass all of that. He owns the company.
Right.
And I'm telling you,
No,
it's
take your time.
all
Tell
in
it.
his niece's writing.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
His niece. He has siblings that will tell you, hey, this man has always been like this because he has gotten it from his father.
Mhm.
This
Right.
was passed down by the shrewd business
Uh-huh.
practices of his father.
Mhm.
But the saddest thing about this scenario is the fact that this man has gotten away with so much crap
Right.
that it
Right.
took for him to be president
Right.
for them to say, oh, wow.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
This man is out of his mind and he's running
Right.
a country.
Right.
And
I'm just saying.
my only concern with it, because I'm looking forward to the day when he is arrested,
Uh-huh.
is what will then be the reaction of his base.
Right.
Because they're just they're a loose cannon.
Right.
And so I don't know. I mean, we saw what happened January 6th. I don't know what kind of craziness they will engage
Endeavor.
in
Will
when
they
that
cra-
happens.
Well, and of course that's been a
That's
great-
why I'm going to get my gun.
Right. Okay.
If the crazy come over here, I have something.
That's right. You do live in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Right.
You know,
live out here too.
Right?
It's
Yeah,
just
it's
crazy
everywhere.
out
I mean,
here
they're
too.
crazy everywhere. But to your point, I mean, and this is kind of leading to another layer of this conversation around this person. I don't understand where people allow themselves to be on such a high level of deception. I don't know. What did they wake up and find their own head in their ass one day and just discover that it was there? You know what I mean? Because it's hard, and maybe I try to be fast forward. I live my life fast forward. I don't live my life in a position that all the status quo has to be the thing around me. Like these people, they get in their communities, okay, and they support their ideas of these communities. And one of the things that this narcissist has done is that he's aligned himself with another narcissist. He probably, two other narcissists I can think of, which is Hitler and this other one, Jim Jones. Okay, the best two combinations right there. What you said, rapper. You want to know what Trump is? Jim Jones and Adolf Hitler. Okay, rolled into one.
I don't want to drink that Kool-Aid.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying. So what has happened is that we've gotten people starting to drink this nasty Kool-Aid. Okay, at the end of the day, for word, and maybe he was pissing on him. I don't know at a rally. I don't know. Maybe it was sweet piss. I don't know. Okay, okay. But so that'll lead us into Stormy Daniels, whatever her name is, Stormy, whatever her name is, the hooker in a minute. So, but.
But with the Me Too movement, though, you would have thought they would have got to him too.
Right, true, of course. But anyway, so what I'm saying about that is that I just have not. I think my love for humanity, wants to see people do better. And always wants to see people do better. Yeah. And I would never imagine that there was this high level of stupidity like this over following somebody. You know what I mean? It's like, do you wake up in the morning and you go straight into your bathroom and all you turn on the light and see is Donald Trump? When you look in the mirror, wake the fuck up.
No,
is this
that's a utopia?
You know what I'm saying?
That's truth behind the truth. That's the perfect utopia, but that is not reality.
I know. I know what I'm saying.
Go ahead, Hero.
I was gonna say, is it stupidity or is it just this underlying hate and rage?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't think it's stupidity. I think they know exactly what they're doing.
Amen.
They know exactly what they're doing, but they have such hate for people who don't look like them, and that they're willing to do anything and to follow anyone that represents something that supports their ideals.
And even to that point, Hero, it's just, to me, it's so unimaginable at this day and time in life that is that much hate that is coming from these places in humanity. I mean, really, I just would not. And again, maybe I'm just the shell of the bubble that I kind of live in.
But it has always been there historically. Because how did the South secede from the Union?
I mean, I get that.
There was an underlying seeding of hate, and we're going to seed of hate. But this is what happens when you don't have critical thinking skills. You follow in line with people who will lead you into the edge of the abyss.
Right. Wow.
And that's what's going on right now.
We're going to continue this conversation in 1 minute after we get back from this break. So get your mega hat on.
If you need a pickup, call Junk Stars. Yeah. If you need a dumpster or a demolition, call Junk Stars. Yeah. Call 844-55-STARZ. Junk Stars. It's Junk Stars, baby.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
Call Junk Stars.
you need dumpster rentals,
Call Junk Stars.
All right, and we are back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the Truth Behind the Truth tonight. And I won't say all things Trump because it ain't that. We just want you to wait. We just want y'all to wake up. I mean,
That'll
really.
be heavy.
Huh?
It is pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's very heavy. I mean, it's a very heavy thing. I mean, just to even think about that where we are, as a country, in terms of allowing something like this. One other point that we're going to move on, unless you guys have something else to say you want about that. One of the sad points of that when the news came out and hit the news, news media and all that type of stuff. The one thing that I got really deterred about was these different commentaries that these different people were saying about the whole thing, and then they would say, "Well, this is a very solemn moment for the U.S." And I'm like, no, it's not. This is not so. Well, never in America would you have. Yeah, well, that's true. Never in America. You would never have expected that type of man to be president in the first place.
Right.
Okay. But it happened. Okay.
Right.
So this is not a solemn moment at all in America. This is really a truth behind the truth time in America. Okay. And the truth is about to be really exposed on so many levels.
Yeah.
And it has to happen.
Yeah.
So it's not solemn. And yes, there are a certain amount of people that are having Trump parties right now that's celebrating that he got indicted. Okay.
I just left one.
Okay.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a lot more on Tuesday afternoon. Okay, there probably going to be some parades and everything else at the end of the day. So people are tired, and the woke people are tired of this. We're tired of the media, number one, telling you half truths. Okay, at the end of the day about things, to pump up their idea and make false truth behind the truth. you know, and keep people going. And like I said, I saw these commentators like, this is not sad. And, you know, they're sitting at the camera like, oh my God, this is the worst thing that could ever happen. I'm sorry. It just was not the worst thing. It's probably the best news that we have had in a long time. Lastly about it needed to happen this way, because if this man would have gotten away with this, can you imagine, or what should have imagined, what would have happened in our court systems from this point forward? Because you would have to allow everybody that's going to stand before a judge to have the same ability to walk away and not be held accountable for whatever they did. Okay, because there's no way in the world that you could allow. I don't care. I don't give a damn if he halfway ran a country. It doesn't have nothing to do with it. You still bleed. You still shit. You do everything else like everybody else. Okay. All right. I let piss off, but you can do that too. All right. You know, at the end of the day. So let's go move on. Narcissist. We're so glad that you are carrying your narcissistic ass behind the jail. Okay, and then we will see what happens on Tuesday.
And let's pray for Jason Whitlock to stop crying. But okay, the Nashville shooting. Now this right here is another situation where it's very, you know, it's, you know, we're learning the details of the person who, you know, went and did this tragedy. But Harold, I mean, what did you get from this? Because this right here is a moment in our history where, you know, it's been going on.
Right.
The mass shooting's been going on. But this is a first in a different scenario. So, oh my goodness, wow.
It's just so indicative. Like JB was saying earlier, how we're all connected. We're all connected.
Yes, we are.
And when you see something like this happens, you know, your heart breaks for everyone, even the shooter, because something happened to make the shooter get to that place. And so it's just sad, because now we're living in an era where kids are not safe, teachers, I mean, it's not a place for safety. And so that's something that kids and parents have to deal with now. You know, sending their kids to school. That was not even a thought. You sent your kids to school, you just knew that they were going to be okay.
Absolutely.
But it just speaks to a deeper issue in this country.
And this was a private school.
It was a
private school.
So my thought on that, you know, I know we've been, you know, not all of us been dealing with the issue with Trump, but this situation in Nashville, it really, and this clown, you know, with his Christmas card that he sends out with everybody with his, you know,
assault weapon. There's no reason anybody should have an assault weapon.
But again, here we're talking about the same mentality. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. But the one point I want to mention about that was that, you know, my heart feels, like you said, Harold, for this situation in Nashville, and not that it doesn't feel for any of the other ones, but this one kind of takes it on another light, you know, even a little bit further, okay, or another level of exposure or opportunity to have another conversation to help maybe move change in another way. So this young lady / young man, okay, that was a representation of the LGBTQ community in and of itself, whether she was coming to he was coming to he, she, or she, he, or whatever the case may be. The thing about it is that what I'm seeing and what I truly believe, y'all, is that the rhetoric in terms of that this person experienced, probably coming from the teaching, being in this school, by not being able to accept who she is or who he was, you know, put a very strong sting in their life. And they didn't really know how to do it, because they're conflicted about trying to be who they are in their authenticity. You know, but then you have a group of people over here that is so speaking so many damnable things about the person that is of the LGBT community, and that's just not there, but everywhere. You know, and I think she just probably lost it. You know, I think she just really lost it in that moment, because she wanted to be her authentic self. She wanted to live life in the authenticity of that what she believed herself. But when you've got the Christian organizations, not only just there, but in Florida and all these other, in Texas and all these other type of things, that are putting all of these narratives out there and trying to govern people's lives and not allowing them to live authentically, we see this. We see it happening, and it's so sad. I mean, just take a jump to go to Florida, and all of this crap is going on with Ron DeSantis and down in Florida, and not wanting to, number one, the race theory. I mean, the thing is on the top of the list down there. And then also not being able to mention gay in any public place, basically, what you're trying to do. I mean, all of these things could be brewing this type of behavior that this young lady fell into. So the solution to that is that, like we started out in the beginning, we got to get together. You know what I'm saying? We really have got to get together and find a way to get past this stuff, because religion is the number one killer of people in America. I'm telling you, it is, because it either kills you spiritually or it kills you physically. Okay. Because for some reason they feel like spiritually they have to do these, they move out on these things.
I say commercial religion, commercial Christianity.
Right.
I say commercial Christianity. It's such a layered situation with that statement.
Right.
Because I mean, I just, the religion aspect, yes. I think when it boils to how you certain doctrinations,
right,
I understand with that. But my thing with this situation is, why do children have to be the catalyst of somebody's motive to kill?
Right.
That really bugs me, because of the fact that, and you have these politicians out here who are not doing the work to protect not only other people's children, but their own.
Right.
And, it's like I mentioned to y'all before the show, that the man who said, a reporter went to him and asked him, what if this would have happened to your child? And his answer was, well, my children are homeschooled. Now
I ain't worried about your kids, because mine are homeschooled.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's messed up.
Right.
But that's where, I mean, this cry, I just hate that people with this mismanaged anger.
Right.
Because I hate to say this, even though this really was not what it needed to be.
Right.
She didn't need to go to no school.
Right.
What she needed to do was find an organization or find a movement within herself and say, we got to combat these laws.
Right.
We have to find a way to do things that's going to undermine these politicians that have been in office since my grandma been alive.
Right.
Still is living.
Right.
Still is living, but you know what I'm trying to get at.
Right.
These people need to be undermined.
Right.
But making the kids the target practice wasn't the case. It shouldn't have been the case.
Right.
And the solution is not more guns. And fact of the matter is, no one should have access to assault weapons.
No
one. I think a lot of Republicans, their solution to this issue is more guns. And so it just creates an atmosphere of more fear, as opposed to dealing with the real issue. The real issue is hate and fear.
Yes, it is.
White folks fear and hate Black folks and think that we are going to somehow rise up and do something against them, which we are not. We're not even thinking about that. But that's what is rooted, and that's why they got all these those are assault weapons they have for us.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah.
Most definitely. Because why would you need an assault rifle in the first place? That's not even that. That's not even used for hunting.
Right.
Who are we fighting against?
Right.
They always bring up the narrative that and this is one thing. If you are a supporter of the police, why are you afraid that the police would turn on you?
Right.
If you believe in blue lives, and that is they feel like they should have some form of a populist army or whatever you want to call that, but it's becoming more of like an internal civil war within.
That's it.
That's what it is
right there.
An internal civil war. But the saddest thing about it, that's the narrative for having these machine guns.
Right.
We have to protect ourselves from foreign invaders, but not only foreign invaders, but also progressive invaders. Truth behind the truth.
Truth behind the truth. Go ahead.
Truth behind the truth. But it's just that is the narrative, and that what bugs me about this situation is, why do you need that? But that is the reason.
Right.
That's the reason.
Exactly. I have family members that are members of the NRA. I mean, at the end of the day, and then and all that. And I think anytime you become a gun owner, you become a part of the NRA. Okay, and I think that there's just such a mixed message about responsible ownership of a gun. You know, somebody said the other day, which was a very powerful point, that what needs to happen is just like you have license to drive. Every year, you need to go and get your license redo. You have to take a test. You have to understand all these other type of things, all of these scenarios you have to pass before you can have licensing for a gun. You know, and it need to be something you need to pass every year, not just one time to get licensed and that's it. And have a criteria, you know, for people. And then you have an idea who's not mentally stable that's carrying these guns. I mean, you know, like I said, I felt for the girl, you know, and but again, like I said, we end up in we end up in an unstable position because of what's being said to us, and it's being said to us, and it's been said about you, and you know, you have to be really a strong person to shield that type of, you know what I'm saying? You really do. You know, and it's very, very sad that so many people don't have that ability. Not just this young lady, but all of them, like the guy that shot up in New York, the black people in New York. You know, you think about, where did this come from? Like you said here, the self-hate is going to be the number one indicator of true hate, because you hate yourself, you hate everybody else.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So you know, this is what gives you but really you go out trying to kill yourself. Okay. And then you inflict it on other people because you hate yourself. They're like, well, you know what? Let me not get into love yourself right now. It's not the time. But it's just, you know, it's just, oh man, I'm kind of losing my words, you know, because I'm so disappointed.
It is very disappointing.
You know, I'm really, and I get lost for words when I get this disappointed, and knowing the cause of all of the things that are there. But let's go and make a shift. I know we got to wrap it up. We got two things we want to talk about. Make a shift because it, you know, this ain't making it no better.
Well, it's not. But you know what? It needs to be said because but you know, and I'm going to end it right here. We just, y'all, and I understand, pray, do what you have to do to maintain some mental wellness in this situation. But y'all, we got to go out and make our voices heard. Yeah. Going on to the next story. If you're an Anthony Hamilton fan, he's retiring.
Wow.
He's getting tired of the music industry.
Wow.
He's the only soul. Well, he's not the only, but he is one of those true voices that is needed to keep our culture going.
Right.
And to keep the art of great singing going too.
Right.
Do y'all think, honestly, in this music industry, a lot of these truthful artists, I ain't talking about commercialized artists, because I can go down a list,
right?
But the truth artists, I was watching this documentary on Roberta Flack, and I'm going to go back to Anthony Hamilton. Y'all, PBS did a great American Masters on Roberta Flack, but I thought about while watching the documentary, would have Roberta Flack would have succeeded in this music industry? You have to think about it.
I don't think so. I don't think that anybody that we have been accustomed to being exposed to. I mean, Harold and I have maybe just a little bit more accustomed to maybe originally in life. But and you think about the things that we grew up on, Harold. You know what I'm saying? And those artists, whether they were, you know, previously before us or during the Motown era or the 70s era, whatever, you know, these people would not survive now.
No.
Because number one is because this group of people, they don't understand true music.
No, they don't.
You know what I mean? They don't understand lyrics. They don't understand the purpose of what lyrics and how lyrics move you to a better place. They write stuff down, and I take it back. Their lyrics are moving you to a place, but it's moving them to a negative place. You know, at the end of the day, the rappers, I'm sorry, you know, hey, when you have taken a responsibility or allegiance to disrespect your own women. Right. Every time you come out with a song, you're in a very sad place. We got to go for a break, okay?
We'll come
back with this, you know, real quick.
Balance me out, my feet
All right, and thank you so much for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth tonight,
Mhm.
guys. It's been really an inspirational show tonight. I'm telling you, but you should be inspired to do things differently,
That's right.
you know, and not be a part of the status quo of what's going on. But back to the report, I think we got one more person we think we wanted to address tonight. As far as the music, like I said earlier before we went to break, we have a group of people that just don't understand. You know, I mean, you look at from all of these singing shows, from The Voice to American Idol, you know, and you know, we were just so happy. We're not a fan of American Idol anymore at this point. Sometime I'll turn it on just to it was kind of out there who ain't singing, you know. But the other day you turned it on, and this girl was she took one of the hardest vocal songs to do that's out there today. And who was the originator of that? Was that
I didn't see that one.
what is what's that? Well, I won't take up too much time to figure out the song, but it's one of these songs that's out now, and it's one of the hardest vocal songs to sing. Okay, you're gonna get up and sing this in an audition. Okay, and it's not even your song. Oh my God. Why would you do that? Pitch. It's like, where do you not hear the pitch? And then it modulates, and then you get a higher off key. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, why? You see, you know what they need to do, and I'm gonna finish this. They need to be guest on The Masked Singer. Okay. So, I love The Masked Singer, y'all. Okay, I love The Masked Singer. Okay, you know, but these people, at least you know, on The Masked Singer, the people can't sing. All right.
I think what it is, there is no integrity in the art anymore. And that's what it boils down to. Because like I was watching the documentary on Roberta Flack, and I saw that she had so much integrity in the music that she she wrote, that she performed, and
it stands the test of time.
And it stand the test of time. Yeah. I mean, Killing Me Softly and a lot of other stuff that she did with Donny Hathaway. But it's just the fact that nowadays artists, there's so far and few of those types of artists. Right. And I'm so happy that I grew up in a time when Jill Scott and all those people were coming out, because that was my introduction to what music should be. Right. Because there were so many varieties, neo soul, pop, R&B, you had rock. We listened to all of that stuff during the 90s. Right. But nowadays it's just like, oh, what is this going on? I mean, do you agree, Harold?
You know what? You know, this conversation has made me think about a song. Remember that song, What the World Needs Now?
Hey, man, yes.
And the lyrics go like this: what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. That's what we need.
That's true. I that is the truth behind
everyone.
Everyone.
And that was written during the Vietnam War too.
Wow. You know, and that is so much like where, you know, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, you know,
gay, straight, trans.
Gay, straight, trans. You know, we are all made up of this great our great creator. We all are.
Yes, we are.
You know, and you know, to me, it's just like, if you are not loving your brother, then you're not loving your creator. You can never say, scripturally speaking, it said, how can you say you love God and not love your brother? Okay. So how can you? You can't. You simply cannot do it, because they're one and the same. You know, and by them being one and the same, you can't separate yourself from the love of God.
The greatest love of all. and that's another song too. I mean, you think about music. You reach out and touch somebody's hands, from Ashford and Simpson, and the greatest love of all from Michael Masser and Linda Creed.
Yes.
And you talked about Burt Bacharach and Hal Davis, What the World Needs Now. These were writers, songwriters, and lyricists who were thinking about the times that they were in.
Right.
And that is what's going on. Nobody's thinking about the times. Even Nina Simone said this. An artist they represent the times that they live in. They are doing art that they are writing about the times that they're living in. Because you know, you have artists right now, they're not even talking about the stuff that's going on right now, the homelessness, the presidency, the fact that people are losing jobs out here and can't afford certain necessities,
killing themselves.
Mental illnesses. Come on now.
You know, and as I always say, you know, I mean, We got to do better.
We got to do better.
We got it, and we can. I'm not even gotta. We can do better. We have to make the conscious decision to do better. You know what I'm saying? And in spite of what you look like, in spite of all of the other type, whether I agree with it or not, it's not my place to be able to agree with it. My responsibility is to accept it. Okay, accept it for your being, accept it who you are, accept it where you move, and then the igniting of the love can be a part of it.
Amen.
One point is we as we wrap. You know, I heard a story. I don't know if you may have said it, but I'm going to reiterate again. You know, we're all of a great ocean. Okay, whether you want to say the Pacific, the Atlantic, or whatever the case may be, we're all of a great ocean. But that great ocean is our Creator. You know, at a certain period of time, our Creator decided to take a cup out of that great ocean, okay, and name that cup of water of that great ocean. He named it Harold, okay. He named it JB, you know. He named it Dylan, you know. And we live our life, and we're all connected to that same body of water. And at the end of our days, guess what? We're all poured back into that same water that we came from. You know, let's live out the water. You know what I'm saying? You know, let's recognize that we are of that water. We are the same body. You know, we can't separate it. Whether you are an atheist or whether you don't believe or whether you're whatever it is, you're still loved by our Creator. He gives you the opportunity to figure that out. Why can't humanity give you that opportunity? Why can't Christianity give you the opportunity to figure it out? Because trust me, you will figure it out. You know, and by what somebody has said to you is the reason why you feel the way you feel. You know, there's no need to feel that way. Yes, I can say that. You can say that. Harold can say that. But there really isn't a way to need to feel that way. All we need to do is to speak true life into you, you know, and then reframe your thinking. Because, and I'm saying all this to say is that when you find a person that wants to go in and do a mass shooting or killing people, and it doesn't have to be these kids, but just killing people on the street, shooting people up. I mean, and we can go on. I don't want to end on a negative note about the, you know, the killings, but the way we stop the killing is stop what's coming out of our mouth. Stop interjecting hate, like you said, Harold. Stop making it be a platform. You know, put people in jail that need to be in jail so they can wake them up. You know what I'm saying? And so be it. We started out today. Donald Trump will end up behind bars 24 hours, 30 seconds, or whatever the case may be. Learn from the fact that this man has done what he's done to humanity to create not a level of love, but a level of hate. You know, so hey, guys, thank you for tuning in to Truth Behind Truth. There's some other topics we want to talk about tonight, but we'll save for next week. The same stuff will be going on, trust me, you know, with some people. But we want to thank you tonight, really. I mean, and take what we said, understand what we said, because we come from a very sincere place, a place of love, a place of harmony, you know, and we want you to do better. That's what Truth Behind Truth was created for. You know, that's what we have this bond for, because the love, the enough, the authenticity, okay, is we want you to embrace that. Guys, have a great night. All right. Thank you for tuning in to the Truth Behind the Truth. We'll see you next week.